Welcome to another live stream watch long reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to Club América versus Minnesota United FC Leagues Cup 2025 League Phase Match 2. We got a hopefully good one tonight. Because if it isn't, if it's boring, if it's not good, and a waste of my time, I will not review it. I will be absolutely clear on that. Considering we have a Formula One Grand Prix in the morning, and it's basically a 12-hour turnaround, 10 hours by the time the stream is over. If this game is a waste of my time and sucks, this is all you're getting, just to be clear. For this game. That's just to be clear. Like, the game has to be worth my time to review, to get the review after. So I'm just being absolutely clear up front. You're getting this, for sure. I'm right here. Review for this match, we'll see how it plays. If it's not good enough, you'll see me in the morning for the Formula One Grand Prix. If it's good enough, I'll take some time out to review this game. Miami is losing right now, weirdly enough, 2-1. I'm shocked. Orlando beat the hell out of Atlas. Tigres beat San Diego last night. LAFC beat Pachuca in penalties. Yes, they did. Monterrey, they play tonight, or tomorrow actually, but I'm watching SummerSlam, so. Yeah, good for y'all. How we doing, Alex? This tournament seems a bit crazy, I won't even lie. Miami down. Crazy. With that being said, starting 11s are as follows. For América, in goal, we have Luis Malagon. The back four of Israel Reyes, Igor Lichnowsky. We have Kevin Alvarez. We have Christian Borja. The midfield two of Alvaro Fidalgo, Jonathan Dos Santos. The midfield three of Jose Zuniga, Alejandro Zendejas, Victor Davila, and Henry Martin. For Minnesota United, we have Dane St. Clair, Carlos Harvey, Michael Boxall, Jefferson Diaz, Morris Duggan, Anthony Markinich. Midfield for Bongi Longwan, Robin Lud, Will Trapp, Joaquin Pereira, and Tani Luashei up top. I mean, Mascherano is probably still going to be there because he's Messi's friend. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. America's playing with 3 strikers. Well, shit, they need something. I don't blame them. They need something. Miami should be called Messi and Friends. Yeah, they already are. Acting like they aren't. Nice. So good for y'all. Does he still play for Scotland, though? I think he still plays for Scotland, though, so it doesn't help the USMNT, but at least it gets him off the international slot. So that's good. That's good. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. América versus Minnesota. Didn't they say it wouldn't happen? How many times? Ustadi is hurt. Calendar, he's been hurt. I don't know if he's healthy. We'll find out. I mean, yeah, Malagon in goal. The back four, Borja, Lichnowsky, Reyes, Alvarez, Fidalgo, Dos Santos, Jose, Victor Davila, Alexandejas, Martin up top. Starting 11. Ron Rodriguez didn't get the start, which is crazy. Nice. I didn't do any of that, but starting 11 for Minnesota, Dane St. Clair, Duggan, Boxall, Diaz, Markinich, Harvey, Trapp, Bongi, Longwan. Of course, Joaquin Pereira, Robin Lud, Tani Luashei, the striker. Miami tied the game. Of course they did. Of course they did. Penalty shootout for Miami. What do you know? I can't even laugh. What do you know? Zendejas, the player to watch for América. 90th minute, so right before stoppage time. Shootout if they hold. Tani Luache, player to watch for Minnesota. Here we go. Getting ready for this match. Look. I mean, it was good. I ate some chicken and some rice. I'm watching a football match. Nothing special, really. It was good. Good enough, I guess. Oh, yeah, she does make music. Oh, yeah, she does make music. Yeah. Forgot about that for like 5 seconds. No, I know Lana did. I'm talking about. Oh. They sell vinyls there? I just go to a record store. Or one of those like classic whatever stores. Game about to get started. Nice. Okay, that's cool. So we'll see if this game's good enough for me to review it. I don't know if I hope so or not. You don't seem happy with this game. I mean, there's partially a part of me that wants it to suck, so I don't have to review it, so I could go to at least nap a little bit earlier, because I'll be up at 8 in the morning tomorrow for the Formula One Grand Prix. I don't like the time squeeze, and I kind of have to sleep, considering I was going to watch SummerSlam after it was over, and it's early. Well, the good news is it starts earlier than I would have thought. And the main event ends at like 8:30, which is, I guess, a good thing, but the fact I'll be up so early. But if this game is good enough, I have to review it, which means even more of a squeeze for other things. So, either now, of course, if it's a Minnesota win, I kind of have to review the game no matter what, especially regulation. You know, just for the, like, yeah, you're screwed vibes. Yeah, America, you're screwed vibes. Either way, I guess I could just say, yeah, reiterate the shit I said during the All-Star game if I had to. Even if it's like 1-0. Nobody really watched that review anyway, so let's remember America lost on penalties versus RSL. Then you ask Brian, so why are you doing the match then? Well, I have to, because I'm not doing a match tomorrow. I have to at least do one on Saturday. At least the stream. So do that what you will. Game's going to start very soon. So let's see what happens. Toronto FC 2-1. Nice. 5-0 for Forge. Nice. Okay. There you go. That's good. Really? Only 10 more match days. Only 10 more. Jeez. John Cena only has, well, now 9 more appearances left on his retirement tour. Holy shit. Here we go. What the? Drew Fisher's the center ref. What the hell is this? Somebody's got to tell me what the hell's going on. Oh, it's a Gran Centenario ad. Okay, nope, I see that now. A tequila ad. Product placement. Alan Chapman's the VAR referee. I was like, yeah, what's the chick doing painted like the frickin' Columbia logo? Columbia Pictures logo. I was like, what the hell? Carrying a frickin' tuba instead of a trombone, whatever, instead of a torch. All I'd do is look at the jersey. That was weird. Okay, now that's funny. Okay, now I'm good. I'm good. That's funny. That's funny. That was weird. Minnesota wearing black. América wearing their yellow. New kits. Here we go. And we're off. Here we go. Let's see what Minnesota could do against América. Let's see what they can do. Harvey playing forward. Speaking of, how's the Miami game? Oh, okay. No, they haven't taken the penalty yet. They haven't taken their next penalty yet. They're not down. Okay, good. 57 seconds. 0-0, settle. Would you rather eat everything with a spoon or a fork? Well, I definitely lean towards using spoons over forks. So if I can use a spoon for it, I will. I'm not saying I do it all the time, but if I could use a spoon for it, I will. Yeah. Ugh. Oh! So Miami can take the lead on their next penalty, by the way. And Kramashki scored his before Balladoni came up and missed his. All right. Free kick for Minnesota. Free kick for América. And Miami just took the lead, 3-2. By the way, in their game, their shootout. 4 minutes in. Stop start so far. Jordi Alba scored. Okay. Jordi Alba scored his penalty. Playing forward. Jelly Roll got pinned by Logan Paul. Well, I'm not surprised. CM Punk won. Wait, what? CM Punk is the world heavyweight champion. Well, shit. Let's go. He's going to get cashed in on by Punk, isn't he? Right? Just wait. 5th minute. Gunther got busted open. Well, that's interesting. 3-3. So tie game. Playing forward. 0-0. Settle a settle. Playing forward. How we doing, Henry? Wonder. Okay. Playing forward. He means bleeding. Like cut. 4-3. Miami. Monreal scored his penalty. Seriously, though, in wrestling, busted open means you're bleeding. Normally from your forehead, but CZW, that can mean something else. Anywhere, really. But also blading. But you could get busted open the hard way, aka you didn't blade to bleed. Or you can blade and you busted yourself open because you bladed or gigged yourself. The blade can also be called a gig. Cross in. Header. 4-4. If Miami scores, they win. I'm sorry, I had to. Adam Sandler, duh. Nice. I would guess a tote bag, right? 7 minutes in. Good. The more practice, the better. At least you could have some breakfast. Like wake up at about, 8:30 and eat. Get some carbs. Have carbs. 7th minute. And Miami scored. Suarez puts it away. Miami wins the shootout. They get the extra point. So now they're at 5 points. 6 points. No, it was on penalties. 3, 4, it's 5. There we go. Yep, okay, better. 5. They got it right. 8 minutes. That's what it is. 5-4. So Miami's top of the league so far. Minnesota with 4 points. The second. Seattle and Portland haven't played their third game. Second. Seth cashed in. Yep, I told you. I told you that would happen. There you go. Miami scored at the end of the game. Jordi Alba scored 90th minute. They held on for 6 minutes and won the shootout. And Seth cashed in. and beat CM Punk. 4 minutes left. You mean Miami. Or either way. Seth Rollins cashed in. He's World Heavyweight Champion. So John Cena will not be cashed in on tomorrow night. So that plan is out the window. John's either going to get screwed by The Rock, Cody turning heel, or John turns face and somehow still wins the match. Or John turns... I don't see... Here's the thing that gets me. I know it's a setup, but John only has 9 dates left on his retirement tour. He's got to go out of face. I mean, how does he turn back heel to retain the title during a street fight unless he just beats the ever-loving shit out of Cody? Like, just whips the hell out of him with some, like, a belt. A leather belt. I don't see it. I do believe John is staying a face. Like, I know it's a setup, but I just can't. I can't wrap my mind around it. He has 9 dates left on his schedule. Well, actually, yeah, Leagues Cup's on Apple TV. Well, actually, no. Tomorrow's 8 after SummerSlam. John's got to stay a face if he's going to leave as a face. And if they turn him back heel just so he could retain the title and it was a ruse, how are people going to believe him actually turning face when they do it like November? They can't. Either way. Radiohead. 11 minutes. 0-0. Settle is settle. So far, boring. So far, no review. I'll tell you that right now. Free kick for Minnesota. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. Then again, I can't even say Seth cashing in was surprising. We all saw it coming. I didn't even watch WWE TV weekly during this build. I just knew Motley Crue is Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin. I like Motley Crue, but Led Zeppelin. Oof. 12th minute. Rollins cashed in on Punk. Yep. Eminem or Kanye? Ooh. Honestly, I've always been more of an Eminem fan. Talent-wise, I've always been more of an Eminem fan. I used to like Kanye. He lost his fucking mind. My parents thought Kanye was nuts before he went nuts. The dude lost his fucking mind. Point is, you can't defend Kanye no more. Over the bar by Minnesota. He made Graduation. That does not... No. No. No, you can't. No. No. You can't. No, that's... You can't say that anymore. Kanye made Graduation. You can't say that anymore. I'm sorry. No. Yes. Yes, it is. I love Happy Gilmore. The original. I haven't seen the second one. True. Yeah. Here's the thing about Kanye, though. I understand he's bipolar. I understand he doesn't want to take his meds. Being bipolar doesn't make you say the shit he says. I ain't heard. Mauro Ranallo hasn't said, like, dude, Mauro Ranallo, boxing announcer. If you watch boxing, former WWE announcer, I ain't heard him say the half the shit Kanye, any of the shit Kanye said. And he's bipolar. Being bipolar doesn't make you say the shit Kanye said. He may be bipolar, but he's also nuts. There's a difference. But hey, Jelly Roll. Yeah, it's more like that. It doesn't mean you're a lunatic. Yeah. See, you could be a lunatic while being bipolar. Kanye. You could be bipolar and just go from one end to the other like Mauro Ranallo. He is openly bipolar. I'm not blowing up the spot on any of that. If you know Mauro Ranallo, you know he's openly bipolar. He's had documentaries about it. So I'm not blowing up the spot at all, just to be clear. Cross in. Yeah, didn't he call the Tyson Paul fight? I think he was on there. Yeah, he was. For like the 5 minutes I was able to watch it. Remember how much of a shit show that was? Saved. The stream, not playing forward. Shot! Is it in? Does it count? Oluwaseyi gets the goal. Pushes down the América defender, and Oluwaseyi gets the opening goal. I'm not sure if that's going to stand, but good job, Tanny. Good job. Boom. He just pushed him over, ran past him, and boom. Off the post and in. What a play. Pereira plays on to Oluwaseyi. He's onside. That we know. It's the push. I mean, there was a push there. Was it enough to call it a foul? Lichnowsky went down like a ton of bricks. Can you call that a push? Or is that Lichnowsky being a total fraud like he normally is? We'll see. 0-1. 0-1. 0-1 Minnesota for now. Dude, if I was considering either of them to be a babysitter, call the authorities. You know? Nobody in their right mind would consider either of them to be a babysitter. You'd be a horrible parent. You should not have that kid if you'd consider Kanye or Ted to be a babysitter. Either of them. Either of them. You're not a good parent if you consider that to be a good idea. You are not. Whether you're famous or not. That'd be crazy. I would just stay at home. Well, yeah. How? I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole, Isaiah. I'm not. If I do, I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I know better. I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot pole. That's a little bit. Well, it is. That is sort of a dark path to go down, but I'll just stay home. I'll just stay home. I don't know how that shit works, Sean. So, I don't know. I don't know how it works. 20th minute. That's less. That's a little bit more rosy, but. Okay, that was good. 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 Oh yeah. Minnesota leads the MLS on the table if they win. Good. Oh. 20th minute. América playing around, seeing if they have to chase, or they are chasing the game. Oh! Oh, Vermont and Green won USL League 2. That's cool. That's cool. They've been that way for 2 months. You just watch them for the first time in 2 months? They've been that way since the final. They were that way against LAFC. The goals they allowed to LAFC, they should have never allowed. They were that way during Campeón de Campeones. They were that way against RSL. Trust me, it's not new. The All-Star game, let's add that, by the way. Let's add that. Coached by Jardinet. That was bad. So, do with that what you will. Yeah. I mean, 10 a.m. practices and you get to rest for the rest of the day. That sounds good. That sounds awesome. Sometimes it's better to get things finished early, not have to worry about anything. And if you pick up a knock in training, well, you have the rest of the day to ice it. Shot wide. So it ends at 12. Okay. Yeah, the whole other half of the day. 24th minute. Fake striker as per. I mean, 25th minute, 0-1, Sedano uno. So as far as I know, there will be a review for this match because Minnesota's winning. Definitely people want a review on that. So, as I said. Is it the best match? No. I could reiterate most of the stuff I said during the All-Star game, though. At least about Jardinet. Barely. That video did not do well. So, I could rehash it. Shamelessly. Shamelessly rehash it. Playing forward. Blue Jays win the World Series or TFC wins the MLS Cup. Well, I mean, the one thing that's more likely to happen this year is the Blue Jays win the World Series. So, right now, the Blue Jays, I mean, shit. Third best team in baseball? You think I'm not all behind it? You're crazy. They're the third best team in baseball right now. Of course, I want the Blue Jays to win the World Series over, well, I know TFC is shit this year, but to be clear, right now, yeah, Blue Jays, because that's just more likely to happen anyway. Honestly, though, MLS Cup, we've won it. Like, at some point, yeah, I mean, if we're going to get back to the top, we have to win it again. But I've seen them win it. So I want CONCACAF. See, that will make the question harder. That's what I really want, is the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And Dane St. Clair, of course he did, comes off his line, and a chip over him. Jose scores. 1-1. 1-1. Scores. Played over the top. Christian Borja plays it back. Goes in. No, it was an own goal by Boxall. Okay, good. Own goal by Michael Boxall. And Dane St. Clair came way off his line. It's 1-1. 1-1. Michael Boxall with the own goal. If we'd all go with the cross. And Dane St. Clair was in no man's land. Of course he was. Yep, of course he was. Michael Boxall own goal. Well, Minnesota scored both goals, but own goal. 27th minute, 1-1. 1-1. Yes, for sure. I mean, okay, maybe not 15th place, but they'll suck. But what about all these players we're getting? They only want to be there because of Messi. His friends are only there because of him. The South American players that come in to play for Miami is they know it's a good shot window because Messi's there, and if they play well, it'll get them known more. They won't want to go. So you've just cut most of your talent pool just by one guy leaving. Just because Messi played there doesn't mean people are going to go there when he's gone. Look at the Galaxy. I mean, the Galaxy picked up Zlatan after Beckham. Ricky Puig, well, I mean, he was definitely at rock bottom when he went there. Definitely rebuilt his career to at least be one of the best players in MLS, but nobody had any idea that was going to happen when he got there. At the point that Ricky Puig got to MLS, he was called a locker room cancer and a diva. And Barcelona said, can you take him on loan? And they're like, sure. Let's play for Barcelona. Ricky Puig grew up. That is true. I don't know if him being a locker room cancer was him being a locker room cancer or him being a kid. Probably the latter. But Barcelona labeled him a locker room cancer and a diva, and they loaned him out to LA Galaxy. And LA Galaxy, he grew up. He was at rock bottom, though. He had some really good hype when he first started at Barca, though. And I have no idea. Like, I think he's right. Like, he is right that immigrants to this country grew up in football cultures in most cases. They still love the sport. See what Liga MX has this Leagues Cup stuff, and there's a goal. Bongi Longwan scores a tap in. It's 1-2. 1-2. Minnesota with the lead. They've scored all 3 goals. But he's right. He's right. Because football has grown because of the football cultures that have come to this country. If you want to look for a reason that America is a melting pot, look at football. The growth of the sport of football ain't because of Americans who were born here. Saying that as an American Southerner. As an affinity for Canada. Saying that as an American Southerner who has an affinity for Canada. Come on, really? He's right. Like, how is he getting hate for that? Like, dude, but St. Louis is a football city. It may be. It may be. But when I went to middle school, the people playing football mostly was the girls. There were some boys who played football, soccer, but it was more the girls. So many football, soccer girls when I was in middle school and high school. So, which tracks, which absolutely tracks, because I went to middle school in the early 2010s. I got into high school the mid-2010s. That's when women's football was really kicking off in the U.S. and Canada. And that's why. So that tracks. Absolutely. That tracks. Absolutely. Point being is, he's right. And 2-1. It's a different culture. Bongi Long one. True, except the women. As I just said, the women started football first. Like, when women's football got on, it was the U.S. and Canada. So, technically, it's just the men's side, really. It's just the men's side that sucks. The woman's side even when they had their dark moments under the end of Lotco, they still were good. Yeah, the world's catching up. And Canada won an Olympic gold medal, so, that's cool. But, yeah, the world's catching up to CONCACAF, but women's USA, they're the best team in the world again. Under Emma Hayes, which I'm not surprised. And Casey Stoney's doing pretty solidly with Canada. I'm not going to say they're going to be the second best team in the world again, but top five? Top five? So, it's really just the men. Really. It took a while. And anytime they try to grow on the men's side, a certain Dumbo-eared punk ruins it. Garber ruins it. So, for like 4 months. Hopefully 26 is different. And also, and notice this, every time there's a Women's World Cup, the people who talk the most about it is the USA and Canada. And they, again, for another 3 months, love football. The main women's football fans stay, and then they forget about it for another 2 years. In either case. So, Pulisic and Club América. But Bongi Longwan made it 1-2. 1-2. With a tap in. Corner. Shot blocked. Took the tap in, and that's saved by Dane St. Clair. So it was a Boxall own goal, and then the 31st, it was long one. Okay. All Minnesota goals. Torkin for Bwanga, now you want Pulisic. How crazy, right? Yeah. And Nations League. But I'm just saying, right? But again, it tracks. I don't understand. But yeah, no, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. Chris Richards is right. He's right. He's right. I wish. And you could say, well, what about the generations of Latino Americans who have been born here after 2 generations ago or 3, their family immigrated to the country? Fair. But again, I guess you could have a gray area there of what about the natural born Americans who came from a family who immigrated 2 or 3 generations ago, but all they know is being Salvadoran American or Mexican American or right. Fair enough, but then you're just splitting hairs, really. Now you're just splitting hairs in that case. Yeah, of course, there are 3rd generation Latin Americans who have been here, where their family's been here for 3 generations, who love football because they came from that culture. But again, the seed came from somewhere, right? But again, I guess that's where he's getting. I guess if I have to guess, Henry, that's where Chris Richards is getting the hate from. I guess. Because I guess splitting hairs is where he's getting the hate. But I get his point. Long one playing forward. Zendejas to Milan for Pulisic. No. I don't think Milan would go for that. And honestly, I don't think Zendejas would mesh well with Allegri. I think Allegri would absolutely destroy that man. Allegri would absolutely destroy that man. But okay. But, I mean, I don't see where the hate's coming from unless people are splitting hairs on Chris Richards. Well, technically, what about like the third generation Latin American whose family immigrated, but they didn't? But they still grew up in that culture of loving football because of where their family came from. There is no, his point, to be clear, is there is no built-in football culture in America or Canada, unless in Canada, if your family immigrated from Italy or Portugal or any country that had a football culture. Same with America, the Latin American countries. I can guarantee you that grew, unless I guess St. Louis, but 40th minute. Again, I was in middle school during a point where women's football was cool, men's football, not so much. And you could see that with who played football. It tracks. It absolutely tracks. It absolutely tracks. Why do you think they put? Why do you think the Gold Cup's played here? Every single time. Why do you think? Because money. Look at what Guatemala, as I said, St. Louis, the St. Louis metro area is not, as far as I'm concerned and know, is not known for a Guatemalan diaspora. I may be wrong. I've never heard that before. Then again, I haven't heard of corn sweat till a freaking week ago before I went to Mississippi. And that turns out that's been a thing. And corn's a thing. So maybe I don't know shit from shit. But maybe I don't know shit from shine. I don't. Maybe I don't. But look at what happened at City Park. 90-10. Guatemalan fans versus USMNT fans. Make that make sense. In St. Louis, of all places, the place where everybody says, oh, this is the home of American football, American soccer. Then why the hell did that happen? 90-10. In a place where, again, I might not know shit from shine regarding not knowing about corn sweat till 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago. It's St. Louis. As far as I know, Guatemalan diaspora, not a thing. 90-10 in St. Louis. You see my point? It's 2025, and people think football's cool now on the men's side, and that still happened in St. Louis. The home of football, as people like to say. Right? Have you not seen the history of St. Louis soccer? The fact that the U.S. Olympic team that won gold was from St. Louis. A lot of the players on the World Cup team that beat England was from St. Louis. Trust me, MLS screwed over St. Louis many times before City became a thing. They're not lying, but I'm just saying. They're not lying, but I'm just saying. They play games at Busch before City Park was ever a thing. It is. It is a capital of football of the United States. I'm not saying it isn't, but the fact you got 90-10 by Guatemala, when I have no idea, as far as I know, there is not really a Guatemalan diaspora in the metro. As far as I know, again, the corn sweat thing might prove me wrong. Just like I didn't know about corn sweat. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like that was mostly traveling fans when that happened in St. Louis. Yeah, sure. So, again, it proves Chris Richards' point. It does. What happened in St. Louis proves Chris Richards' point. It does. Because in St. Louis, of all places, a place that U.S. soccer likes to venerate as a home of the sport, a heart of the sport, the country, they got 90-10 at City Park during a semifinal of the Gold Cup. And you can say, well, Guatemala hadn't been there since the 90s. Okay, I'll tell you what I know, or what I think I know, that was traveling fans. The bulk of them was traveling fans. I can tell you that right now. They traveled to St. Louis on 4 days notice to go to that game and outnumber U.S. fans. And frankly, Guatemala should have won that game, but that's neither here nor there. In St. Louis, if it was like Minnesota, I'd be like, okay, fine, I understand it. Well, they did outnumber Canadian fans there, so it's not like that's out of the realm of possibility. Either way, if it was like Minnesota or Kansas City, and Kansas City's not bad either, but, okay, well, New Jersey. Remember when the USA got outnumbered by Costa Rica at Red Bull Arena? Remember when that happened? It's not like it's the first time. World Cup qualifier, by the way. '46 minute, but isn't there a pretty good Costa Rican? Isn't there a pretty good Costa Rican diaspora in New York? Isn't there? I feel like there is. So, again, it doesn't exactly work. 7-0 versus the Sounders. MLS better watch Liga MX. So, again, my point. He's right. Fair enough, but still. I don't think that would happen. See, Sydney Sweeney is now the left doesn't like her. MLS is more of a center-left sport. That would shoot MLS in the foot. 47th minute. That's probably a dumb idea. This ain't freaking NFL where a Hardee's ad. Dude, this ain't the NFL where a Hardee's ad works. Dude. The core of people who watch MLS are the people who pulled Sydney Sweeney's, at least what we think, is their voter registration from 2024. No, they'd shoot themselves in the foot if they did that. Made an ad with Sydney Sweeney. I'm just saying. This ain't the NFL where a Hardee's ad. Come on. Remember those Hardee's ads from like back in the day? Remember? Remember? Those worked. But that was the NFL. 48th minute. So there's your point. 48th minute. I don't know who to cheer for. My team's out. Or my team never made it for the first place. I don't know who to cheer for. Portland? Maybe Portland? But again, no, Chris Richards was right. America, the country of the USA, doesn't have a built-in football culture. We still got to build a lot of it. The culture that's been built for football in this country has been built off the backs of people who came from countries who have a football culture. Simple, and he's right. And that's the perfect, you know how they say America's a melting pot? That's the perfect example. Football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. That's the perfect example. This sport is the perfect example of how America is a melting pot. That's the way I put it. Because trust me, if America wasn't a melting pot, would it have ever caught a foothold at all? I mean, what happened to the NASL? Right? Halftime, it's 1-2. Let me go and we've been talking about this for 20 minutes. I don't know if I've definitely towed the line. I don't think I have, but maybe somebody. I don't know. I don't think I've towed the line. I thought I've been pretty, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Somebody could have taken it that way. Where is it? Here we go. Henry talked. There we go. Chris Richards said, immigrants care more about football than Americans. That's why Mexico games feel like away games for the USMNT, which he was totally right. Oh. Exactly. Halftime, it is 1-2. 1-2. Minnesota leads. And if this holds, I have to review the game. Just for the... I probably should now because this stream has definitely gotten a bit spicy. No, American fans got mad, I would think. But, I mean, if he wasn't right, then why would Mexico put all their friendlies in the USA and the Gold Cup? One, money. Second of all, people are going to go. No matter how bad L-Tree is. There was a little bit where they were on rock bottom where the Mexican fans, the fans who lived in Mexico, said, I ain't going. I ain't going to go if they're here. They don't deserve it. They're right, but exactly. As I said, the fact that football grew so much is because America is a melting pot. The fact that football even has a foothold in this country, and there are people like me who watch this sport and know so much, is because of the culture that was built by people who love the sport and came to this country. It ain't Pele. Because if it was, my dad would have watched the sport longer than after the NASL collapsed. As you know, his favorite player is Pele. Right? He knew about Pele. But that's my point exactly, right? So, like, I know that I'm different. I know that I'm certainly different, but I'm proud of that. It's a beautiful sport. And the fact that I support CONCACAF so much instead of Europe. Oh, also, Euro snobs. A lot of the American fans who are fans of the sport are Euro snobs. They have no respect for MLS. If the national team doesn't have the European guys, they don't give a shit. Or if it's the World Cup. Either way, which is crazy because Landon Donovan, but either way, Clinton Dempsey, but either way, I'm definitely, but I respect what the sport means. I respect the beautiful, what this sport is. It's beautiful. Is it tough? Is it like bone crunching like the other football? No. And I have my respect for gridiron football. I was born with it. But it's like me liking F1 over NASCAR. I like NASCAR because I got into F1. But it opened that door. But F1, it's again, it's an acquired taste, right? It's an acquired taste. But it's better. It sometimes is better. Like association football, soccer is sometimes better than gridiron football. It is. It is. If you just get used to it and learn it. But because it's not your sport, whether you look at it from a European perspective or a Latin perspective, as a born and bred North American, especially in the USA, you don't want to give it a shot. Especially back in the 80s. Especially back in the 70s. Even the 90s. And then the woman broke through. And then the men started to break through and all that. And F1 never really had an American driver besides Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent, well, look how that turned out. Either way, now the caddy's getting a team. Just you wait. That's when Americans are going to really start rooting. Be like, I root for Cadillac. Good American muscle. I root for Cadillac. Even though Haas has been an American team for like 10 years, but whatever. Whatever. It's like Caddy. Good American muscle. Caddy. Cadillac, right? Even if Checo Perez is their driver. And Valtteri Bottas. Yeah, that's going to end well, but either way, it's called an acquired taste. Exactly. Yeah. And for me, but again, it's like American. Exactly. Like American football is fun at times. I love Tom Brady, and I root for the Steelers because Patriots, of course, because Patriots are still my favorite, and I root for the Steelers because I have to. I happily have to. Why did I say it like that? I happily have to. Very happily have to. But I always had a soft spot for him anyway, but, even bigger soft spot, but I like gridiron football. I root for Mississippi State. Like, it's been born in me. I have my respect for gridiron football. College is better than NFL at this point. Let's be real. Even if State sucks ass, we'll find out soon. But is it true? I mean, look at it. And NASCAR. I mean, I have my respect for NASCAR. I do. I like NASCAR. I know what's going on there. But F1 is better driving. F1 is more. Those guys, it's like football is a lot tougher than you think. Soccer, if you're one of those people. Football is a lot tougher than you think. Just because you think it's weak, it's a lot tougher. The shit that these guys have to do, the running they do, come on now. It's just like F1. They actually have to drive circuits. They actually have to, they have to exercise their neck for all the G's that they take. They have to, they're tougher than you think. They're an open wheel car. They crash. Shit. it ain't as safe. So my point being is give other things a chance if it's not your sport. With that being said, we'll take a short break and have to talk about the stats, get this one going. That took a while. Sit tight, be back. We're back for the stats at the half. I think I predicted them to get eliminated. Wait, hold on. I think I did actually. Hold on. Which card is it? Because I know I kept the card. I said they get eliminated 5th place. So they don't make the knockout stage. That was a good call. I had them getting 6 points, but that might have been a bad call. Either way, stats to half: 75% possession to 25% possession, 9 shots to 3, 2 shots on goal to 2, 302 accurate passes, 91% to 76, 69%, 5 fouls to 6, 4 corners to 3, 9 shots to 3, 2 shots on goal to 2, 333 pass to 110, 91% pass accuracy to 76, or 69%, 9 throws to 4, 0 offside to 2, 0 yellow cards to 0, 0 red cards to 0, 1 to 2, 1-2 medio tiempo. Minnesota, even though they haven't had most of the stats leaning towards them, América's chasing the game. Minnesota's playing better. I think Minnesota deserves to lead. They are leading. América doesn't look too damn good, but well, you know what? I can't judge. I mean, that's exactly how my mom saw a Real Madrid jersey the first time she saw it. It's like the Fly Emirates jersey or whatever. Be like, it's Real Madrid. She's learned, but she's learned a lot about the sport. But she was She actually started calling it football before my dad did, which is funny. She went from that to calling it football before my dad did. No joke. Actually, no joke. No joke, though. My mom calls it football. Like, I got her to call it football. Like, she don't say soccer. No joke. My dad still sometimes says soccer, but I get it because either way, so that was a win. I mean, my dad has learned a lot about the sport too, but sometimes he still calls it soccer. But my mom doesn't. I don't remember the last time she said the word soccer. So she went from that, be like Fly Emirates jersey, same as your friend did, to calling it football. So I'll take that as a W. Nice. I'll take that as a W. I agree with that, but golf is an American sport. Basketball is an American sport. Women's basketball is an American sport. I think that helps. Like, I love golf, but that's an American sport. Now you could say, what about the Ryder Cup? Brian Rodriguez coming on for América at the half. You could say, well, what about the Ryder Cup? That's Europe versus America. Just because you have Jordan Spieth, wait, no, he's American. My bad. Rory McIlroy and others, it's an American sport. Golf is an American sport. I love golf. I do. It's an American sport. Arnold Palmer. Tiger Woods. John Daly. Like, yeah, there are players from outside of America who do very well. Right? Or, yeah, there are. There always have been. But, you know, golf is an American sport. And Tiger Woods, yeah, he was a phenomenon. And Tiger Woods is my favorite golfer of all time. Still is my favorite golfer. It sucks to see how he's fallen from grace. Before the last Masters win and after. Dude's cooked. But, you know, there ain't nobody like Tiger. Let me tell you. Like, I love golf. I have my respect for both PGA and Live Golf. I watch both when I can. 45th minute, we're off. But Tiger, there ain't no Tiger. There was no Tiger before Tiger, and there ain't going to be no Tiger Woods after Tiger. Simple as. Nobody as good as Tiger Woods. Never will be again. Never happened before, never will again. Simple. Violante is on for Alvarez. It's simple. But again, those are American sports who had stars like Jordan, Caitlin Clark, Tiger Woods. Those are American sports. Football, again, just because you have a star doesn't mean people are going to watch. Normal Americans are header cleared away. Like born and bred Americans. Like, we'll use that term. It helped that golf is an American sport. But you could say, well, like, again, if there was, again, my point is this. If there was a Formula One driver that was American and actually good, Netflix worked. People watch a lot of Formula One because of Netflix and Try to Survive, and the movie worked. But you're telling, again, an American driver that is actually good, who actually podiums and actually wins and gets into the points, unlike Logan Sargent. He was shit. But he drove a Williams. Okay, he was shit. The dude was shit. Point blank. The dude was shit. Checo, speaking of North American drivers, Checo Perez The dude was at McLaren. The dude got to Red Bull. Checo Perez, while he was at midfield teams and back markers before he got to Red Bull and after he left McLaren, dude showed potential. The dude won a Grand Prix in a Force India car or Racing Point. That's why he went to Red Bull. That's why Cadillac won him. Because Checo Perez, he had to go the long way to get to Formula One. That's facts. And you could say, well, Mexico really started loving Formula One when Checo got there, and especially when he got to Red Bull. Yeah, of course. But again, it's also a culture difference, I think. I do believe that Americans, even if they know that an American was more like Checo and he was performing well in back markers, gets to a team like Red Bull, front of the grid, top 3 team, best team at the time, but at least a top 3 team, and wins, and at least is a good second driver to a guy like a Max Verstappen, okay, and won a couple of Grand Prix. The only guy who didn't, well, I would say didn't Checo. He won a couple, but Max won the majority, and then Carlos Sainz won one in 2023 when Red Bull had that absolutely amazing year. But Checo won a couple. Should he ever been fired by Red Bull? No. Horner is a war criminal. Christian Horner is a war criminal, and I don't even like Red Bull. No, Checo should have never been fired. And if they did fire Checo, it should have been for Ricciardo, not Liam Lawson. Because let me be clear, and this is another sidetrack. We're talking about Formula One in the morning anyway. When the next time I'm on here, it's going to be about a Formula One Grand Prix. So I'm already in that mindset. Daniel Ricciardo was the only other guy who could have drove that Red Bull half as good as Max Verstappen, especially in 23 and 24. And they're like, no, Liam Lawson, wide for Minnesota. That's a goal kick. No, Liam Lawson. And then two races later, Yuki Tsunoda. What? Are you crazy? Daniel Ricciardo had a similar driving style to Max Verstappen. Always had. Always had. And he got the chance. And they're like, nah, fire Carlos. Fire Carlos did drive Verstappen, though. But fire Checo. See, I've done it before. Fire Checo. Liam Lawson 2025. What? But he got to Q3 yesterday in a V car. Okay. That's where he should have been the whole year. If you were going to fire Checo, do it halfway through the season and let Daniel Ricciardo in the car, at least for the rest of 24. But you would have seen that Daniel Ricciardo, even if he lost it a little bit, still could drive the Red Bull and at least get it to points. And if they did that, maybe they wouldn't. Well, they'd still be behind McLaren. McLaren's the best car right now. I don't know about Ferrari when it comes to the constructors, but at least Daniel Ricciardo would have got P6, P7, P8 in that Red Bull. I believe it. Daniel Ricciardo got screwed, is my point. I mean, Checo got screwed, but Ricciardo got screwed too. They both did. Christian Horner is a war criminal. Christian Horner is a war criminal. Either way. I mean, I'll be clear. I will say the non-racing things I see of Max, like his streams and his off-the-track vibes and him doing the GT3 or whatever it was thing with Chris Harris. I'll admit, I'm starting to like Max as a person. Like, I still think he's an ass. I still think he's dirty when it comes to what he does on track, especially when he's pissed and he knows the race is screwed. Right? But, you know, the red mist he pulls and the shit he does, no, I don't like it. When he's not on track, header goal! And Club América score. A header. 2-2 2-2. Jose scores. Header. Is he still on? Yeah, he's still on. Boom! Oh, it might have been an own goal again, actually. It might have been an own goal again, actually. Nope, no, it went off his head. Jose taps it in. 2-2. 2-2. No, that was an America goal. That will count. 54th minute. Can Minnesota come back and take the lead again? No. Ball crossed in. I mean, at least, we've seen him in UFC. I don't think he'd ever race a car. Dude would take like 5 years to get into the car, to get used to the G's. I say UFC fight. I didn't say it was likely. I just said UFC fight. Nice. UFC fight. Two 2-2. Can Minnesota take the lead? Sadly enough, this game's pretty, well, what happened to Vinny, man? Fraud. Dude, I think is a bit of a Mitch Marner type. You know what? I'm going to go there. Vinicius Jr. is a Mitch Marner type of player. The lights have gotten too bright for him in multiple ways. And I think that's absolutely destroyed his mentality and confidence. He definitely needs a sports therapist, that's for sure. I think he's... So basically, pretty much, 56th minute. Playing forward. I don't even know. Say USA, and I think that's about it. USA and Chelsea. There we go. Oh yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, no, Chelsea and USA. That's it. As far as I can tell. Can you call the USA a big team? Playing forward. Nike. Oh, England. England. Yeah, true. I forgot about that. England. That's how offside. 57th minute. England. Yep. England's Chelsea. I don't. He's too short for that. See, here's the thing. You know why outfield worked for Rick Ankiel? The dude still had a cannon for an arm. Like, have you seen some of Rick Ankiel's highlights after he turned to outfield? His fielding highlights? The dude still had a cannon. He could still throw. But the cool thing about an outfield throw is it doesn't have to be as controlled because you're going from point A to point B, throwing at higher velocity. He did try to be a pitcher again after he retired the first time. But either way, there's a difference. Rick Ankiel already had a cannon for an arm. Always did. Always did. He can still hit a lot of them. Well, he still hit a good amount of home runs as well. But fielding, like legit, watch a Rick Ankiel fielding highlight reel. The throws that man made. Amazing. Amazing. Wonderful. Dude had a cannon. Like, you could say, but what about most outfielders? Rick Ankiel never should run on him. Dude, I remember vividly. Don't run on Rick Ankiel, man. Because if you do, you're out. It's like, boom. Like, you want to say that, who could we say? Trying to think, what outfielder's really known for having a cannon for an arm nowadays? Like, really? At least recently. Damn. Known for more of having a cannon. Not Kevin Kiermaier. God love him, but no. Bautista? No. He can make a throw, but no. Trust me, no. I've seen right fielders not be able to I've seen right fielders not be able to really make a throw. God love Jose Bautista, but no, Rick Ankiel knew how to make a damn throw. Goal for América, I presume. Playing backwards. Tatis? No, I wouldn't. No. Playing forward. Minnesota. Minnesota United. Tackled. Still picked up. Rosales. Still. That's got to be a free kick. Tatis, I wouldn't say he's got a cannon for an arm. No. I think Tatis is a fraud. At least fielding-wise, he's a fraud. Fielding-wise, he's a fraud. Like, you want to... Like, all this shit that people talk about Vladdy Jr. being a flop from his hype. Dude. Vladdy still plays first base, and he still hits pretty good as long as he doesn't knock it to the ground. Tatis is more of a fraud. Of that class of 2019, no. Fernando Tatis Jr. is a fraud. Yeah, he can hit. His fielding has never been good. But see, the difference between Tatis and Vladdy is Vladdy was a third baseman than a first baseman. It was always Vladdy's hitting. And his launch angle suffers. So Vladdy is more apparent, but like if you want the full everything, Fernando Tatis Jr., when it comes down to it, red card, is a fraud. Red card, 2-2. Yeah, I just want him pulled down a Luache. Yeah, Lichnowsky should be off. He should be. He should be gone. Lichnowsky. That was dirty. Lichnowsky gets a second yellow. Okay, that makes more sense. I mean, straight red would have been wild, but second yellow, I get it. Yeah, go. Can't take it away either. I mean, that was an obvious foul, so he's gone. Minnesota's up a man. Yaboa and but again, O'Neal Cruz. Okay, that's a better call for defensive outfielder. Center fielder. Well, he plays center field. He better have a good arm. Romero's on. Like, O'Neal Cruz is a better shout, but yeah, no, that man does have an arm, but Rick Ankiel was still 10 times better. I would say Rick Ankiel, when it comes to outfielders, had one of the best arms, throwing arms out of the outfield, one of the best I've ever seen. Simple. I don't think anybody, Rick Ankiel was that dude. Dude, I watched the Braves a good bit. No. No. I mean, Acuna's not bad at fielding. He's not worse than Jose Bautista. But dude's Jose Bautista 2.0. Dude's Jose Bautista 2.0. I know what I'm looking at. Amazing at the bat. Amazing base running. Can throw a runner out. Can make a catch. Dude doesn't have a cannon for an arm, though. Like, he's not bad at tracking a ball down and making a catch. He's made diving catches. He can make a throw, but he's Bautista. Like, he's legitimately Jose Bautista 2.0. Which I can see why AA loves him. Header down. I can see why Alex Anthopoulos loves him. Oluwaseyi blocked. Playing forward. Cross in, shot, goal, 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 goal! Carlos Harvey! Forget a cross, he shot it. Goal. 2-3, Minnesota, Carlos Harvey. Carlos Harvey. What a play, man. Took the shot. Forget a cross, he took the shot. Boom. Nope, not offside. What a team play. Carlos Harvey. What a shot. Just makes a run and boom. Low and in. Boom. Lovely, lovely. Simply lovely. 65th minute. 2-3, 2-3. Minnesota has the lead again, and they're up a man. So América is playing badly. I agree. And a player down for Minnesota. Harvey is down hurt. What the hell happened? What happened? Shouldn't have sold Quinones. Yeah, now you're twerking for freaking Buwanga. Prime Mookie Betts. Dude's playing second now. Dude always wanted to be playing second base. No. Respect to Mookie Betts. Damn good player. The man always wanted to play second base. The dude always wanted to play second base, so no. Even he knows. No. Harvey got hit with a bottle. Oh, okay, he got trash thrown at him. Okay, that makes sense. Bo Jackson was the best because Bo knows. You damn right. Bo knows, baby. You're right. You're right. You're right. I love it. Bo knows. Bigger fraud between Tatis Jr. and Bo Bichette. Ooh. 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 Bo is such a damn good hitter. Like, he's so good at hitting, but his fielding is just, it's better this year. Tatis. But Bo's the reason. Bo's the reason why the Jays have got knocked out of the playoffs, so shit. They both are. I don't know if I could be biased or not. They both are. Ugh. Oh. Bo or Dillon? I'm not that old. I mean, I've only really seen highlights of him. Dillon. I'm going to go Dillon. Oh. Well, at least one went to the World Series, but Aaron Judge. Well, actually, no. No, the fraud is the team around him, actually. Tatis is the bigger fraud, but Aaron Judge, you know what? Yeah, that's unfair. Aaron Judge holds up the Yankees. If Aaron Judge ain't there, they suck. If he ain't playing, they suck. If he ain't playing well, they suck. Aaron Judge is the Yankees. He carries Boone. He carries all those guys. If Aaron Judge ain't going, they ain't going. Aaron Judge is actually, the team is a fraud. He's not. I actually should be clear about that. Aaron Judge is not a fraud. The rest of the team is. If Aaron Judge ain't going, they ain't going. Tatis. I mean, I want Colorado to win the Big 12, but I don't think they will. Like, I want them to win it. They won't, but I want them to. Somebody else is winning the Big 12, even though I want Colorado to win it, but they're not winning it. Aaron Judge is the guy who carries the Yankees. When it comes down to it, Aaron Judge, if he ain't going, the Yankees aren't going. They suck. If he's hurt, they suck. So when it comes down to it, actually it's Tatis. The more I think about it, yeah, no, the fraud about the Yankees is the Yankees. It's not Judge, it's the Yankees. Here comes Minnesota. Top of the box. Still got the ball. Drops it back. Tatis. Wow. Why you say wow? The Yankees lost to the Marlins again. Could have been 4-2. That's true. Wide. Playing forward. The Yankees can't field. The Yankees can't field. Have you not noticed this? Has been happening for since you went to Toronto the first time. Like, you blew 5 of those games against Toronto because you can't field. Out of the 7, you blew 5 because you can't field. I'm not saying the Jays needed the help, but I'm glad we had it. I'd say the Jays are better than the Yankees, even with the trade deadline. But like 5 of those games in Toronto were because you couldn't field. Like you blew 5 of them because you couldn't field. And it's just been happening since. The first series, like what, 2 of the 4? Aguirre on for Martin. Henry Martin. No. I mean, the Blue Jays should have done more at the deadline, but I still think we're better than y'all. I mean, it's not think. I mean, look at the damn division. Look at the division standings. Who's first place? The Toronto Blue Jays. Yes. I can't believe it either, the run they've been on, like for the past 2 months. I can't believe it either. I'm loving it though, as you could tell. Yeah, I didn't really want to put a jersey on, whatever. 74th minute. Actually a 9-year-old shirt. I'm still wearing, I need more postseason shirts. I need more postseason shirts. This one's getting old. This one's getting old. Like the most recent one was what, 2020? I didn't want a 22 or 23 postseason shirt. I won't even lie. One, because I think they kind of sucked. Second of all, well, the Jays sucked during the postseason as well. I don't want to be reminded of any of those. Nope. 2016, I'm glad about being reminded of. 2015, I'm glad about being reminded of. 2020, they should have never made the playoffs, but they did because of COVID, so I'm totally fine wearing that shirt. Hopefully this year they don't at least embarrass themselves. So when I do get a postseason shirt, at least the good moments I can remember. At least the good moments until they lose. If they do lose, I can remember the good moments. If they win the whole thing, well, I have like what, the wild card, the division clinch shirt, the wild card, or not the division. Well, it depends. Maybe they'll still be. If they hold where they are, division winning shirt, championship winning shirt, World Series winning shirt. At least 3 of them. Because MLB likes to put out a new one for all 3 or all of them. I hope it's more like this, though. But who's first? The AL East. The Toronto Blue Jays. Love it. The last time we won the division, guess what? We were having a dogfight with the Yankees 10 years ago to win the division. We were wild card in 2016. Now we have a dogfight with the Yankees and won it. And won it. We have the tiebreaker no matter what happens at Yankee Stadium in September. So I still say the Jays win 2 out of 3 of those. See, no, when the Jays made those 2 straight playoff runs, the ALCS, you got to remember, it was the first time I saw them in the playoffs in my whole life. You gotta know that. You gotta remember that. 2015, the run that they had, it's the first time I ever saw them in the playoffs. They did not make the playoffs after 93, so there were still years before I was born they didn't make the playoffs, but since they won the World Series the second time. But I thought 2 straight ALCSs was an awesome run. And then they blew it up. And then they haven't won a playoff game since. Even though they made it 3 times. 3 straight wild card sweeps. Come on, let's make that different. Who's the greatest Yankee of all time? Ooh. Playing forward. That's got to be a free kick. How's it not? 77th minute. Greatest Yankee of all time. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, do I go recent or old head? Like, that's the question. Like, do I go recent or old head? Like, if I go old head, it's Babe Ruth. Like, it's Babe Ruth, greatest Yankee of all time. If I go old head, or Lou Gehrig, if I go old head, recent, Jeter, Mariano Rivera, like, the thing about the Yankees is Judge, honestly. I mean, Judge is up there. If it wasn't for by accolades, he's not up there. But the fact of how he's performed and carried that team for like 10 years, 8 years now, and made them a contender just basically single-handedly. And they've honestly pissed it away, being Boone and Cashman, and to my delight, of course. But, you know, especially when the Jays are the ones up against them, you know, to my delight, but especially this year. But, you know, like Judge, clear the damn ball. They're getting a little bit antsy again, Minnesota. Like Judge currently, or like recently when it comes to best Yankees, Jeter, Judge, Mariano, Roger Clemens, no. Roger Clemens is a Hall of Famer, but to me, he's a Red Sox or an Astro. He ain't a Yankee. He also played for the Blue Jays for 2 years. I am under no delusions. Like, yeah, Clemens won a Cy Young with the Blue Jays. Yeah. And then he went to the Yankees. But to me, Clemens is either a Red Sox or a Astro. I'd say Astro. Like, those mid-2000s Astros teams, honestly, yeah, I see Roger Clemens as an Astro. Yeah, I do. Just like I see Andy Pettitte as an Astro, even though, wasn't he a Yankee before that? Or was it after? Either way, Roy Oswalt, Astro. Craig Biggio was always an Astro, so that there you go. Jeff Bagwell was always an Astro, so there you go. Lance Berkman, even though he played for the Cardinals for a while, Astro. Beltran, Met. I mean, Beltran only played there for like 2 months as a trade deadline acquisition. Either way, Met for Beltran. Not a Cardinal. He played for the Cardinals too, but Met. Billy Wagner. Ooh. That's actually a good. I see him as both a Met and an Astro. I think both, yeah. When I think of Billy Wagner, I think of both, to be fair. And his son also played for the Blue Jays up until 2 days ago. He got traded to the Padres for a prospect catcher. Which, I mean, I guess we need to do, considering the fact that Heineman honestly kind of sucks. We never got back Danny Jansen. Kirk, we need a backup to Kirk that's better than Heineman and frickin' Sanchez saved. We really do. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, that's a tough one. Okay. I see Verlander as more of an Astro. Like, I know, I remember him starting as a rookie with the Tigers in the World Series against the Cardinals. But Verlander, I mean, the shit that he pulled just to go back to Houston like multiple times, and I'm surprised he didn't do it with San Francisco. Astro. That man wants to be an Astro, I think, is part of it. He wants to be an Astro. How we doing, William? Verlander's an Astro to me. Remember when he was like a Met, he pulled out all that fuckery just to go back to Houston? He wants to be an Astro. Yeah, I think I see Verlander more as an Astro. There's like sometimes I'm like, yeah, he was a Detroit Tiger. Like a rare moment where I see him as a Tiger, but it's probably more when I'm watching an old game they show on like freaking MLB Network or the free MLB 24/7 channel that he's playing for the Tigers. Something like that. When I do that, though, like without one of those, it's Astro. Honestly, Dodger. I mean, the dude's going to play most of his career with the Dodgers. He already won a World Series with them. Dodger. Like, I don't think it takes much to say Shohei Ohtani's a Dodger. Like, he plays for him anyway. It's not like he's retired or close to it. But no, he's a Dodger. To me, he's a Dodger. Because, one, he plays for him. Second of all, he won a World Series there, and it's going to be his first of many. And also, he's going to play there for, 14 years? Dodger. He's already going to be – he's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a freaking Dodger. Like, we know that already. Like, when Shohei will inevitably go into the Hall of Fame, and I pray to God it's unanimous. I think it will be. The day that Shohei goes in to the Hall of Fame, unanimously, on his plaque, it's going to be a Dodger hat. Duh. Simple. And we already know that a year and a half in. A year and a half in of a 14-year contract, he's going to have a Dodger hat on his plaque. And honestly, even at this point, with the 6 years he played in Anaheim, the dude's going to go in unanimously. At least I would hope so. It would be worse than Ichiro and Jeter combined if Shohei doesn't go in unanimously to the Hall of Fame when his time comes in 24, 22, 23 years. If he doesn't go in unanimously, somebody's going to have to crack some skulls because that is the dumbest shit possible. You should instantly get your Hall of Fame voting privileges just taken away if he doesn't go in unanimously. And I could say that already. As he should. I'm biased, but a St. Louis Cardinal. Jim Edmonds is a St. Louis Cardinal to me. He's a St. Louis Cardinal. I'll always see him as a Cardinal. He won a World Series in St. Louis, had some really big playoff moments that I remember watching vividly. Cardinal. Pujols, Edmonds, Roland, Eckstein, Yachty, young Yachty. Edmonds is a Cardinal. Dude was on Valley Sports for the longest as well as an announcer. Dude's a Cardinal. Cardinal. Easy. And he won't go into the Hall of Fame, at least not as from the BBWAA, but maybe, a ballot or a committee ballot. If he does, Cardinals hat. So, Edmonds, Cardinal. Do you think Sun, a rival LAFC, will attract many Korean fans, both local and international? Yes, for sure. For sure. I didn't really want to know that. Doesn't surprise me, though. Oh, hey, well, at least I got Tim Salmon and Mike Trout. Hey, at least I got Tim Salmon and Mike Trout. hey, let's be clear. Mike Trout, he wants to be an Angel to his detriment. The dude is still there. The dude has wasted his career. He's only been played 3 postseason games with the Angels. Guess what? Albert Pujols was still there when that happened, and he was still a good player. Well, that was before the plantar fasciitis got to Albert. Albert was still the Albert people were afraid of back then, at least at the end of that. I mean, yeah, Albert with the Cardinals that last year was old Albert, but I'm talking about before the 5 years of the old Albert being gone, before the Dodgers brought it back slightly and the Cardinals said, hey, 1 more year, Albert? Get to 700? Like, yeah. And he did. And I knew he would. He started slowly, but damn, that last half of the season, shit. that was lovely. But hey, at least I have Tim Salmon and Mike Trout. Maybe Garrett Anderson, too. I don't. And no, I know what you're going to ask. David Eckstein is a Cardinal. No, David Eckstein's a Cardinal. That dude embodied the Cardinal way. Like, I know he won 1 World Series with Anaheim and 1 with the Cardinals, but legitimately, David Eckstein, when you actually talk about what the Cardinal way was and what truly was the Cardinal way, that was David Eckstein. David Eckstein is a Cardinal. Point blank, period. I might be biased, but again, I might be biased, but Cardinal. Albert is a Cardinal. I don't give a rat's ass if the Angels sign him to a personal services contract that he's honestly trying to get out of. That he's honestly trying to say, no, screw you, I'm not doing that. Like ambassadorship. Albert's a Cardinal. América with a corner. Looks like we're going to a shootout. Cross in. Header. Goal! 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 And there's 3-3. 3-3. The goal by Cáceres. The header, Sebastian Cáceres. That was 90th minute, pretty much. 3-3, 3-3. Tie game. We're going to a shootout unless Minnesota could find one right off the bat. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave this as a stream. Playing forward. 7 minutes of stoppage time. Oh, well. Cardinal. Even though I don't like it, no. Tony La Russa is a Cardinal. Even though I think he's a wino and a fraud, he's a Cardinal. Regrettably, TLR is a Cardinal. Fraud and a wino, but he got carried by Walt Jocketty and Roland and Pujols and Eckstein, but Cardinal. David Freese, Cardinal. Headed away, regrettably. That might be my, well, no, I wish he was an Athletic, but here's a chance save. Corner for América. Man, Minnesota's falling apart. I'm honestly surprised he did that. Braves versus Reds playing at Bristol tomorrow. Yep. Cleared away. Can Minnesota pick one up? Playing forward. 93rd minute. For the Crews. Need. Goes down. Free kick. This goes to Pens. América gets the extra point, I think. Free kick for Minnesota. Wow. Whoop. '93rd minute. Minnesota was dogging it on the counterattack. True. Free kick. Cross in. Header. Save! Save! Boxall! Yeboah! And somehow América survives. Brought down. Harvey. Shot. Save. Absolute chaos over the bar. Pereira. No. Absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. Wow. Absolute chaos. And Malagon and Harvey are about to square up. Square up. I'm squared up. Good. I'm squared up. Good. Leagues Cup After Dark. Motagua 4, Cartagenas 1. Dude, it's Saturday. What? Dude, it's Saturday. What do you mean Motagua 4, Cartagenas 1? What the hell? Like, did that just... There's no... 96th minute. Let me go check. Municipal drew Dillon. 96th minute. 1 minute to go. Pumas is winning. Well, good for them. Matches. Playing forward. Group B, Group C. Okay, no, it was Verdes. They played Verdes. They're playing Cartagenas on the 14th. They beat Verdes 1-4. So you were right about the score, just wrong opponent. 96th minute, player down for Minnesota. '97th minute. Saprissa. Yeah, if this ends on penalties, I'm just going to long one. Plays it back. Not the best play, but it's still alive. Trap. Plays it forward. Yeboah does not get the ball. What a horrible pass. 97th minute. Seconds are left. Yeboah with a header, and it's wide. And it looks like we're going to go to penalties. Minnesota blew their chances. Yep. And they still have the ball. And they're still attacking. Turns out they still have a chance here. Pereira absolutely needs to get it. Long one. Misses. Free kick the other way. That's going to do it, I'm sure. 98th minute. América has pure luck sometimes, and that's exactly what happened. They have not played well tonight, but their luck carried them to at least a shootout, and it's full time. We have a penalty shootout. 3-3. 3-3 esta noche. Who's going to get the next point? So the second game that América goes to a shootout for. Shit backline, elite luck. This isn't deserved. I agree. So we will be live for the shootout, and that's what it is. We'll be back in the morning for the Formula One Grand Prix after the shootout's over. But let's see who gets the extra point. That is something. See how the second half goes, or the shootout goes. Here we go. How on earth the greatest team in the world hasn't defeated Minneapolis? You mean Minnesota? Football's a weird sport. In America, they got lucky. They should have lost, frankly. Jardinet is losing his touch, but for some reason, they got lucky and scored 3 goals and went to a shootout. Honestly, they don't even deserve to be at a shootout in this game. Minnesota panicked. Minnesota panicked their ass off. Minnesota panicked their asses off. Every time they had the lead, they panicked their asses off. Minnesota takes the lead, allows a stupid goal. Lucky goal, too, but they panic their ass off and allow it to happen. Second goal, takes the lead. Panic your ass off. Here we go. Shootout. Keylor Navas red card. Really, damn. Here we go. Pereira. Joaquin Pereira to start the shootout. 3 assists on the night. Can he score his penalty? Joaquin Pereira versus Malagon. Pereira, goal. 0-1, 0-1. Minnesota has the lead, but of course they started, so they should have the lead. Well, sometimes you don't. Pereira scores, sends him the wrong way, and boom. Good shot. Dane St. Clair. Brian Rodriguez versus Dane St. Clair. This could be ugly. This could be ugly. I swear to God, if Dane saves a penalty in this shootout, I'm going to flip. Shot! Goal. Just over his hand. 1-1. 1-1. If somebody misses, that's different. But if he saves a penalty, I am going to flip. I'm going to be pissed he couldn't do it for Canada, especially against Guatemala. I will crash out. Yeboah. Kelvin Yeboah. To take a penalty against Malagon. Keylor got sent off for Pumas. Well, that's crazy. He's out for the final game, I guess. Oh, not just I guess he is. Yep, Pato probably plays the next match. So I would think so. Yeboah versus Malagon. Stutter step shot. Goal. Rolls it past him. 1-2, 1-2. Not the prettiest. Man, Malagon got made to look like an idiot there. Alejandro Zendejas. Zendejas versus Dane St. Clair. Zendejas shot, goal. 2-2, 2-2. 2-2, 2-2. And here we go. Will Trapp. Stutter step shot. Goal. Just past Malagon. Will Trapp. 2-3. Dos a tres. América to have the chance to tie. Now, Dane St. Clair. Sebastian Cáceres scored the equalizer. Can he do it again? Cáceres. Shot. Oh, off the hand of Dane St. Clair and in. 3-3, 3-3. St. Clair ain't Doing well. I'm not surprised, though, at all. Right side, not enough deflection power. Didn't go off his hand, but he went the right way. Malagon. And we have Carlos Harvey. Carlos Harvey, who scored a goal. Carlos Harvey, who scored a goal earlier to get the lead back before they blew it. Harvey. Shot. Oh, off the hands and in. Now that time it was off the hands. 3-4, 3-4, Minnesota leads. Of course, just because the team goes first. But off the hands of Malagon and in. I thought Harvey missed. Malagon, Jesus, how bad are you? Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. How do you... Nah. And we have Israel Reyes. Israel Reyes. Shot! Goal, 4-4. 4-4. One more round. Tied. So if Minnesota scores, they've at least confirmed sudden death. And if América misses or Dane St. Clair saves, more likely a miss if they do not score. Minnesota wins if they score. But either way, Minnesota could at least assure sudden death if they score here. If they miss, they probably lost the game. Julian Gressel. Gressel. Malagon goal. Top bins. 4-5. 4-5. They probably did use Cruz Azul for collateral for sure. We need to see. Advantage to Minnesota. If América misses or Dane St. Clair pulls a save out of his ass, Minnesota gets the extra point. Rodrigo Aguirre. All in his hands. To send it to sudden death if he scores. If he misses or gets saved, it's over. Aguirre versus Dane St. Clair. Top bins. 5-5. 5-5. We go another round. We're going to go to the world burns. St. Clair hadn't even touched the ball. Dude, this isn't new. I'm just glad he hasn't made a save here. We better not get goalie wars. You know what? Shit, I want it. Let's do it. At this point, we may. This point, we may. 5-5, 5-5. It's getting good now, boys. Sudden death. Joseph Rosales. Joseph Rosales to keep it going. To give Minnesota the match point back. Rosales for the match point to come back to him. Long run up for Rosales. Shot goal. Sends him the wrong way. 5-6. 5-6. Rosales sends it. So we had Rosales go, Yeboah go, Gressel go, Harvey go, and Pereira and Trap. So Romero, Jean, Long Juan, Boxall, and St. Clair. Christian Borja. Borja versus St. Clair. Shot goal. 6-6, 6-6. We keep going. Is St. Clair any good at pens? Why do you think Canada lost at the Gold Cup? Horrible. Horrible. We keep going. Malagon to face down Michael Boxall, the man who scored an own goal. Michael Boxall. To put match point back in the hands of Minnesota. Boxall. Boxall goal. Laser. 6-7. 6-7. I hope the hell not. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. We're just going to do the stream. Once this is over, I'll see you in the morning for the Grand Prix. And then we'll review that. Eric Sanchez has to score, and he does. 7-7, 7-7. Dane St. Clair is trash, too. Eighth penalty for both sides. We are 3 away from goalie wars. And we have Romero. Romero has to score. And saved by Malagon. América could win it on the next penalty unless... Is Messi out of Leagues Cup from an injury? I don't think he's out of Leagues Cup unless Miami gets eliminated, but we'll see what happens. Malagon makes the save. Game's over, I bet. There is no way. Like, they have to miss the penalty, right? But you just put it to the hands of Dane St. Clair to save your ass. You really have to. And it is Isaias Violante. Violante to be the hero. If he misses, we keep going. Or if Dane St. Clair can pull a save out of his ass. And he scores. It's over. 8-7. 8-7. 3-3 on the night. 8-7 on penalties. 3-3 esta noche. 8-7 en penales. América ganador. En la penales. Dane St. Clair, you are ass. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send chats on a live stream. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you at 7:55 a.m. Central for the Formula One Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll be live for it and review it. We are... You did say it, but I told you. I knew Dane St. Clair sucked ass, so I'm not surprised. With that being said, I'll see you later. I'm running them out. Peace. See you.